And welcome back to In the Works, a vlog style series where we show our day-to-day activities and what we're currently working on. Today I'm making tongs. Now, these are specialized tongs known more commonly in the bladesmithing community as bladesmithing tongs. However, they're merely tongs designed to hold flat stock. The key part about it are the U-shaped ends, and don't forget when you hold your flat stock to tap it in like that and it wedges in and you can't move it. And once you forge a piece of flat stock or a blade, you can flip around and that will help you forge out the tang or what have you. Now, these will be available on thatworks.shop, and every week I'll drop about 10 to 15 and you can snag them up. So, let's get to work.
Hey, first off, we want to thank everybody who watched our last video on building this awesome new propane forge. But we noticed in the comments there were some questions, and we kind of left out a few major details that we wanted to address really fast. First, why did we pick a ribbon burner, specifically a Pine Ridge ribbon burner? And really the main reason starting was because Chris really wanted one. He worked with different forges with this kind of setup in the past. Matt Harris runs a couple forges with ribbon burners, and they put out a lot of heat. They can heat up big things very fast, so he really wanted one. And then when we started researching them, we found out that this really is pretty much the ultimate way to go. Not only does it put out a lot of heat, it puts out a very even heat. And in a forge this size, we don't have any cold spots or any hot spots. It's very even. And another thing that we didn't address at all is that we mounted this thing at an angle. Sure, a forge like this, you could mount this straight up and down, and a lot of people do that. But this forge primarily is going to be used for our pattern welding. And if you're using something like a mosaic Damascus, the last thing you want is some heat blasting directly down on your work, scaling it up, creating a lot of material loss. So we mounted it in at an angle. You can see in that video, if you haven't seen us do that video, you should go watch it after this one. It gets a really beautiful swirl, and all the heat is distributed very evenly and nothing blasts right on your work. Another thing some people have called us out on is not using the proper tape for some of the propane fittings. We use the white tape instead of the yellow. We already fixed that. Thanks for letting us know. For the most part, a lot of the parts that Pine Ridge sent us already had the yellow tape on it, but we will go back and make sure everything's completely fixed and that's good to go. The other thing a lot of people called us out on was when Ilya was cutting the K wool, holding it with bare hands, not having a respirator. You definitely should wear a respirator when you're doing any work with KO wool. However, he was using shears, being very careful. He wasn't getting any dust in the air. And Ilya, as we all know, is a very manly man. So he can get away with some of that stuff. But definitely if you're using KO wool in the future, you should use a respirator and make sure your bare hands are covered. Another big advantage of using a ribbon burner, specifically a Pine Ridge ribbon burner, is that it's very, very gas efficient. Meaning when we're running the propane from the tank, it's only running at about 1 pound, sometimes a little under a pound of pressure. So you're using a lot less propane. Now it does take a little while for this forge to come up to heat, but once it's up to heat, it's very, very efficient. Another thing we saw in the comment section was people asked if they could run these burners off of natural gas. Yes, you can. This very specifically is made for propane and it's low pressure burner. They do sell a very similar burner like this that's made for high pressure to run your natural gas. So if you contact the guys at Pine Ridge, tell them you're gonna run it off of natural gas and they'll hook you up.
Travis Morris says, hey guys, I've been experimenting with forging. What is a good yet affordable anvil and where do I find them? So, there is a 66-pound cast steel anvil available on Amazon right now, delivered to your door for $160. It's cast steel, it should be a good anvil, but for $160 you can't go wrong. It's better than a railroad track, it's double horn pattern, it has a hardy hole. So give it a try. I believe it's $160 shipped from Amazon. If you click the link below in the description, it helps us out here in the shop by giving us a little bit of a kickback. We are an Amazon affiliate, so click that link and order that anvil.
in there making tongs, I'm gonna go ahead and jump ahead of the game and start making some hammer handles for some more bladesmithing hammers that'll be out real soon. So I'm gonna sand some wood, I hog them off on the contact wheel, and then I move to the slack belt to round everything over.
All right, Jim Shepard is asking, I would like to see you guys to make armor. I was a professional armorer. Well, hang on there. We will make armor as soon as I set up my armoring stand.
Not only has Ilya been hard at work developing these bladesmithing tongs, which are excellent, he's also been making pickup tongs that are great for manipulating large stock, and he's been making these V-bit tongs available in 1/2 inch, 3/4, and 1 inch sizes. Now, that'll wrap up this episode of In the Works. If you're interested in any of these tongs, head on over to thatworks.shop.
And thanks for watching this episode of In the Works. If you guys want some of these tongs, some stabilized wood, or perhaps a t-shirt, head on over to thatworks.shop. And as always, we ask you to consider subscribing to That Works.